Welcome to the deep dive.
Yeah.
Today we're doing something a bit different. We're not looking at, say, a policy paper, but diving into a piece of literature,
Hmm.
Nimal Weerathunga's The Ballad of the Pretenders.
Yeah, it's a really powerful poem.
It really is. It feels like this incredibly sharp critique of political power,
Yeah.
and we want to explore how Weerathunga captures that whole recurring cycle of corruption, exploitation, and just, well, deep public disillusionment.
Right.
So we're drawing directly from the poem itself, from its language. Our mission really is to unpack what this text tells us about political change, or maybe the lack of it, and focus on how leaders often seem stuck performing,
That's a great way to put it, because Weerathunga isn't just targeting one specific government. It feels like he's looking at the structure of power itself, how it operates. He frames politics almost as well as performance art right from the start. The key figure is the pretender. And that forces you, the listener, to think, especially today with media everywhere, what actually happens when the rhetoric, the image, becomes the main qualification for power.
That's the perfect entry point.
Oh.
Okay, let's get into it. Starting with that central contradiction, that lie, the poem sets up right away, this gap between words and action.
Yeah, it hits you immediately.
The first stanza is really detailed, this disconnect. It says, the pretenders spoke of truth, they spoke of care. And they did it with this calculated, smiling air that's designed quite deliberately to fool the crowd. It feels very staged.
It is staged, and the poem immediately undercuts that performance by showing what they didn't do.
Exactly.
It's this metaphor of inactivity versus reward. We're told they built no road, they plowed no field. Think about that. Basic acts of building, of contributing, they did none of it.
Right.
Yet somehow they held the flag and claimed the yield. And that line, it just lays out the whole cynical premise. Why are the power that isn't earned? It's a system where the rewards seem completely detached from any actual work or contribution.
And the poem makes it clear this isn't just some abstract economic idea. The cost is human, it's visceral. Weerathunga is blunt, isn't it?
Oh, incredibly blunt.
He links the ruler's luxury directly to suffering. The poor man's blood became their wine. His sweat was sold for a silver line. That imagery is, well, it's shocking. You can't ignore the moral weight of that connection.
It's not just neglect, it's presented as theft. The success of the pretenders is directly fueled by the exploitation of the laborer. He highlights the humble heart that sowed the grain, the person actually producing something vital.
Yeah.
And what do? They reap but hunger, dust, and pain. So the foundational society gets nothing, while the pretender, who did nothing, takes the yield. It's stark.
So that's the initial setup, this profound moral bankruptcy.
Yeah.
How does the poem then lock us into this idea structurally? Because it doesn't just state it once, it keeps coming back to something.
Right. That's where the refrain becomes so important. It acts as the poem's relentless core thesis. It just repeats. They pretended to work, and they won. The tears of the innocent still run. And the power of that repetition is huge. It feels like a hammer blow, driving home the cyclical nature of it all. It's saying, look, this isn't just a one-off bad government. It's the system. It's perpetual.
Yeah, a perpetual state.
And notice the direct link. They won. That's the political success because they pretended. And the direct consequence, the tears, still run. Active, ongoing suffering.
It gives you this heavy sense of inevitability, doesn't it? The system rewards the pretense, no matter the human cost. And calling the sufferers innocent.
Yes, that's crucial.
It emphasizes the injustice. The suffering is completely undeserved. They're just collateral damage in this game of performance politics.
Exactly. The moral bankruptcy is total.
So you have this permanent consequence for the people versus the sort of temporary political win for the pretenders. And this is where, for me, it gets really compelling because the poem then shows how the pretense continues, but the appearance changes. The colors shift.
That's right. The poem uses the changing political colors blue, green, red as a device to track this cycle over time. It's like asking, does changing the flag, changing the supposed ideology, actually change anything fundamental for the people?
So let's walk through that. It starts with the blue faction. The poem says, blue-clad lords took charge by hand. They ruled with smiles, but how do they rule? They robbed with grace.
Robbed with grace. I mean, what a phrase. It suggests this polished, sophisticated kind of exploitation.
Yeah, and the foundation of their power, it's stark. They built their thrones on the people's face. That image is incredibly violent, isn't it?
Extremely violent, it peels back the polite facade, the smiling air, and shows the brutal reality sustaining it. Even the supposedly graceful rulers are grounded in violence against the populace.
Okay, so blue fades, and then comes the green faction. They arrive with polished pride, promising peace the same old tide. It sounds like a mix of continuity and maybe some reform.
It sounds like it, yes, a familiar promise, but the poem is skeptical from the outset, I think.
And does it suggest they were ever sincere? Or does power just instantly corrupt whatever intentions they might have had?
Well, the green stanza seems pretty clear on that. It says they spoke of change, but changed the game and left the people poor the same.
So no real change then.
Exactly. The poet argues the underlying mechanism, the exploitation, just carries on. It swallows up any ideological difference. Changing the color is superficial. The material reality for ordinary people doesn't shift.
Which sets the stage for the final color mention, red. And this seems to be where the opportunism really comes through. Those who crawled now climb the stair.
It exposes the fluidity of allegiance when power is the only goal. People just switch sides, adopt the new banner.
And the hypocrisy is just laid bare. The same old tongues that cursed before are blessing power once more and more. They don't change their beliefs, they just change their rhetoric to match whoever's winning.
It's pure opportunism. And connecting this back, the sequence blue, green, red, it becomes the visual proof of the poem's main argument.
That the cycle just repeats.
Right. That political identity, the color of the flag, it's all surface level. The core mechanism holding the flag, claiming the yield, the pretending that stays constant. It makes you wonder, doesn't it, how much of our own political focus is just on the colors, not the game itself.
And this isn't presented as something new. The poet emphasizes the history, the duration of this failure. He says 76 long years have passed. That's a long time.
It anchors the critique in history, 76 years. That implies generations have lived through this cycle. It establishes this heavy legacy. Each flag replaced, but pain still lasts.
So the pain is the constant, the flags are temporary.
Precisely. It emphasizes the depth of the disillusionment. This isn't a fresh problem. It's chronic, maybe even institutionalized failure. And that leads into that really powerful metaphor of politics as theater.
Ah, yes, the theater metaphor. The actors change, the play goes on.
The fools applaud, the truth withdrawn. It's a devastating stanza.
It is, and it's chilling, because it seems to implicate the audience, the people themselves. The system is a performance, a masquerade, and the people are positioned as, well, passive observers or maybe even willing ones. The fools applaud. That's a hard line to read.
It's incredibly challenging. It forces you to ask, does this political play keep going because the audience keeps applauding? Or maybe just because they sit there quietly?
Yeah.
When it says the truth is withdrawn, does that imply some level of public fatigue or acceptance or maybe just resignation that allows the cycle to continue? Has disillusionment just become the default state?
And that weariness comes through so strongly in the poem's final address, doesn't it? It speaks directly to the land. O motherland of blood and sand, how long shall liars rule thy land? There's such exhaustion in that.
Deep exhaustion and a sense of near hopelessness, especially in that closing thought about how the system protects itself.
You mean the line when honest hearts are chained and done?
Yes. The masquerade will still go on. That suggests the system is self-perpetuating. It doesn't even need active evil all the time. It just needs decent people to be silenced, sidelined, or simply give up.
And then, of course, the poem brings us right back to where we started. It ends by repeating the refrain one last time.
Deliberately inescapable. It circles back. They pretended to work, and they won. The tears of the innocent still run. The cycle is unbroken. The pretense wins. The suffering continues. End of story. Or rather, continuation of the story.
So after digging into this poem, what's the main takeaway for someone listening today trying to make sense of politics? It feels like the poem offers this structural diagnosis, right?
I think so. It suggests that maybe corruption isn't just about a few bad apples or one specific party's failings. Maybe it's something more inherent in power itself, especially when performance and rhetoric overshadow actual substance and action.
Yeah.
And it shows how powerful literature can be, you know? It can give shape and clarity to these really complex, often frustrating political emotions we all feel sometimes. Weerathunga's structure, that relentless refrain, the shifting colors it articulates, that feeling of why things don't seem to change, even when the leaders do.
It gives language to that generational feeling of stalemate, almost.
Exactly.
Which brings us to our final thought for you, the listener. The poem states, the actors change, the play goes on, and it mentions those 76 years. If that's the case, perhaps the real core of the tragedy lies in that line. The fools applaud, the truth withdrawn. How much does the continuation of these pretenders, these performers who win, depend not just on their own skill at deception, but on us, or exhaustion, our resignation, maybe even our willingness to just keep watching the show, or applaud, or stay silent? What's the audience's role in letting the masquerade go on?
It's a heavy question to leave people with, but a necessary one, maybe. We hope this deep dive into Weerathunga's work has given you some food for thought. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you next time for the next deep dive.